It's brilliant to have on the show now. We have Charlotte Ross. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me today.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. And you are a musician and a singer, very talented. What part of the world are you based at the moment?
Right now, I am in Monte Carlo, but I live between Monaco and London.
Oh, very nice. And we're here to discuss your new track, Raise a Toast. Um, can I firstly ask, is it an original song and what's the song about?
Yeah, the song is my original. I co-wrote it with Aru Benjamin and Alan Niglish, who's a producer. The song is about the time in my life when I arrived in London and I was a student full time, working full time. I had very little private life and I felt very lonely. It was a very dark time of my life. So I decided to dig in and write about it because I felt like a lot of people could relate to it. A lot of people who live in big cities.
Sure. And when you look at the lyrics, they're quite profound.
Well, yeah, I like using, poetic lyrics and I love metaphors. So I'm definitely not a singer songwriter, the type that writes very narrative
Mm.
lyrics, let's just.
And the music business, do you find it can get lonely sometimes because you're always traveling the road by yourselves?
Well, yes, I'm an emerging artist, so I still haven't reached that level. But definitely, I think being an artist in general is a loner's life. You know, if you want to be an artist, you kind of cannot afford to waste your time and to party a lot. At least from my experience, I want to take care of my voice. And whether I was studying opera and I had to be very careful then, or even now because my songs are very vocally demanding, um I I can't have a crazy life. Let's just say I have to focus on my work. I have to train my voice. Yeah.
That's understandable. And you mentioned your voice. I must say it's totally incredible. One of the most powerfulest I've heard in a while.
Thank you very much.
And are you originally from Poland, if I'm correct?
Yeah, I was born in Poland and I studied, vocals there and I studied then opera at the Music Academy. But during my studies, I moved to London and I graduated from LCCM from a songwriting and music production degree.
Does Poland have its own music?
Well, Polish music industry, I would say it's not very exciting, not as exciting as UK for sure. I would say there's not much variety and it's also very small. So only a few who have, the right network can really break through. While in UK, there is a space for everything, I
Yeah,
think.
more opportunities, I guess, here in Britain.
Definitely, yeah.
And you mentioned different styles, genres. Do you like to blend different kind of types of music into your music?
Well, yeah, that's what I've been doing. My first single, Pray to You. As I studied classical music and I love it so much, I always want to include a bit of it or, get inspired maybe by a classical piece when I'm writing. I kind of like to look up to Freddie Mercury because he's been doing that in many of his songs. And it worked, amazingly. And most probably, a lot of people don't even realize that certain songs he wrote were based on some arias.
Yes, I know. Like he done Barcelona, and he done It's a Hard Life. Queen
Yeah,
tracks
yeah,
which were heavily influenced by that culture.
yeah, that's true.
And do you like all things vintage? I see that your music and your artworks and the way you dress as well. Very classy.
Thank you. Well, I like to call myself an old soul, and I always had passion for 1960s, 1950s fashion, cinema. So it almost feels like I was born in the wrong time.
And before your latest single, Rate a Toast, you released Pray to You. You premiered at the Warsaw Fashion Show. How was that experience?
Well, it was cool. It was really exciting. There was lots of events in regards to that fashion show, and I got to meet some Polish celebrities that I've been looking up to since I was a child. But also, the performance was really grandiose, and it was quite spectacular. The models on the catwalk. I was having my stage just right next to the catwalk, and it was really um, very dramatic and grandiose. I really enjoyed it.
That's brilliant. Yes, I see you on all platforms. Do you know, like Instagram and YouTube? How vital is it for an artist to utilize these outlets to get their music across, heard?
Yes. Well, it's incredibly important. I myself, struggle with it because you have to push yourself as an artist to keep on posting, keep on keeping in touch with your fans. As an artist, I find it a little bit tricky then to balance that time with the time for creation,
Mm,
right? Mm, So I also feel like there's many negative aspects of social media, especially when it comes to mental health.
yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of it, but I'm still doing it because I really want to reach out with my music to people.
It can be quite draining just being attached to the screen time.
Yeah, well, that's why you always have some social media management team, but in the end, the artist is the one that has to do it himself mostly. It's all about personal contact.
I still prefer the good old fashioned website, which I'm about to ask you. Do you have an official website where people can just find out a little bit more about you?
Yeah, it's charlotteross.co.uk.
And your surname Ross has two S's with a magical E at the end.
Yeah, it's ROSSE.
Well, that's fabulous. I think that wraps up the interview. Thanks for just coming on board to tell myself and my listener a little bit about yourself and chat about your new single as well, which we're about to play now.
Thank you very much for having me, Dan.
Best of luck and hope you have a great year.
Thank you.